Namaskar. Welcome again to the weird, wondrous world. A few days ago, I came across a question: which is the only lake in the world that drains in two different oceans? The phrase, the only one in the world, always makes me uneasy. Often, what we assume to be unique turns out to have many exceptions, and discovering those exceptions is a great pleasure. In this presentation, I'll share the same pleasure with you. Normally, water always respects the force of gravity and flows downhill. There are exceptions though, such as osmotic pressure and the capillary action, which we may discuss at some other occasion. Every higher place in the world has a slope somewhere, and it slopes in all possible directions. Therefore, if there are lakes at a higher region, then their drainage may be possible in any direction, sometimes even in more than one direction, such as with the case of Lake Okeechobee in Florida. There are three main outflows that emerge from this particular lake: the Everglades to the south, the Caloosahatchee to the west, and St. Lucie River to the east. If a lake lies in a watershed or on a water divide, its outflow may split in two directions, and this is called lake bifurcation. One of the most famous places in the United States is the Yellowstone National Park, which lies on the Continental Divide. In this national park, Isa Lake is located on the same Continental Divide. Its western outflow is the Firehole River, which flows only in the spring, while its eastern outflow, the Lavis River, flows in the spring and early summer. Because of this remarkable arrangement, in spring, the Firehole River joins Madison River, then the Missouri, and finally the Mississippi before reaching to the Atlantic Ocean. The Lavis River joins Snake River, which flows through Columbia River system into the Pacific Ocean. People often take it to be the only lake bifurcation with dual ocean drainages. But can you guess how many more such bifurcations I would describe in this particular presentation? The world's largest bifurcated lake, Canada's Wollaston Lake, sends about 10% of its water through Fond du Lac River into Lake Athabasca, and then through the Mackenzie River system into the Arctic Ocean. The remaining water flows through the Cocharny River into Rio Indio Lake and then via Churchill River into Hudson Bay, a part of Atlantic Ocean. Among water bifurcating lakes, Committee's Punch Bowl perhaps is the smallest. Its water flows through the Whirlpool River and Athabasca system into the Arctic Ocean, and through the Wood River and then the Columbia River system into the Pacific Ocean. On the map nearby, Divide Creek is also has bifurcated waters. However, it's a small stream, not a lake. At the tri-nation point of Sweden, Norway, and Finland, the three-country Karen Lake Goldajärvi, also known as Kilpisjärvi and Kultasjärvi, lies at an elevation of 489 meters above sea level. It is situated on a major watershed divide and feeds rivers flowing in opposite direction in northern Europe. To the south, through Goldajärvi River, the water flows onward through Konkamino and Munio River into the Baltic Sea, part of Atlantic Ocean. And to the north, from the mountain slopes of Norway, the water flows westwards into the Single Dalen Valley into Lingen Fjord, connecting with the Norwegian Sea and the Arctic Ocean. So far, we have discussed only about the natural lakes, but human beings have been long interfering with the nature, and look what they have created. When Panama Canal was built to connect the Atlantic Ocean with Pacific Ocean in 1912, a dam was built on Chagres River, which was at that time discharged into Atlantic Ocean, and it created the artificial Gatun Lake. The water of this lake passes through several locks and reaches to both the oceans. But if you look at the picture, Miraflores Lake also lies between Gatun Lake and the Pacific Ocean. However, this lake is at a lower level than Gatun Lake, and its water does not reach to the Atlantic Ocean. But do you know that Gatun Lake also receives water from Lake Alajuela, built on the Chagres River in 1935? Thus, Lake Alajuela, which was called Madden Dam during the period of American control, also sends its water into two oceans. Another peculiarity is that the Pacific Ocean lies west of Atlantic Ocean, but because of geographical oddity, the eastern mouth of Panama Canal is in the Pacific Ocean and the western mouth is in the Atlantic Ocean. To address the shortage of water in Panama Canal, a dam is also being constructed on Rio Indio. At present, the river flows into Caribbean Sea, part of Atlantic Ocean, but once the dam is built, its water also would reach to two oceans through Panama Canal. The Suez Canal, built through the Isthmus of Suez, connects several natural lakes and lagoons. From the north to south, these are Manzella, a large saline lagoon, Lake Timsah, the Great Bitter Lake, and the Little Bitter Lake. These lakes form natural passes for the ships traveling through the canal. Geographically, the Mediterranean Sea is part of the Atlantic Ocean and Red Sea is the part of Indian Ocean. Therefore, these lakes too are connected with two oceans. Generally, in the winter, the flow of water is from south to north, while in the summer, the water flows from north to south. Daily tides also may affect the direction of the water flow. So, among many lakes with the water bifurcation, there are far more examples than just one that discharge their water in two different oceans. Therefore, be cautious of the word only. The doubts would lead you towards greater knowledge, just as near any sole seller of one pure product, there is another sole seller of the same product. So do not confine knowledge to the only. And if I have missed anything, please do leave a comment. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. And if you liked this video, please share, subscribe, and hype this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Thank you very much.